In this case, I'm using a mouse bone. Actually, it's a cut mouse bone. And if you start with its two parts, it's cut in two pieces. So you see here this one, which was, it was very taken, the saw was taken and it was really cut through, and here it was breaking at the end. So I'm very happy for this break because I can very nicely see the other part where it's missing. So that's part one, that's part two. And you can see here, that's the outbreak. Is it the outbreak? Anyway, the part that's missing, and this way we can very nicely put it together. So there's two ways. Of course, you can use landmarks, but putting landmarks here is not easy at all, especially in a bone, which is pretty homogeneous. You can just rather use the surface representation. You can do it, but it's probably just a rough alignment. So what's new now is that you can create a surface representation and move it on top of the other volume. So for this, I go into objects and I create an isosurface. In this case, I want to have it yellow. And I want to have it pretty dense, so something like 400 is, I think, good. And now I can extract the surface. I've just created an isosurface at a certain threshold. You can, if you want, also use an object segmentation. So if you segmented a bone or something, you can just use the object and take the surface from that. So in this case, you would also, like I do here, the isosurface, I just mark it. You see it's highlighted. And now I can go to copy surface to clipboard, and I go to the other part of the bone and I just paste it. Objects, paste from clipboard. Okay, and now I see, in principle good, but it's not really oriented the right way. That's okay, that is exactly the problem. And I just reduce a bit the light that we can see the yellow a bit better. So what I can do now, I can use the surface and transform it, and that's much easier than transforming complete volumes. I use the surface representation as a kind of guide how to turn this. For this, I just mark it, and then I go to transform surface, and I can start moving it around. You can also use the cursors and this one until you're happy. And when you're done, let's just put it next to it. Then you can go into volume fusion and fuse the two parts together very nicely. So if you're fine, you just apply, fine. And you have here an open transformation in volume fusion. So you just click here and it automatically jumps to the right settings. So the image sets are set correctly. You have part 1 and part 2. It automatically knows where the surface comes from. So you don't have to bother about this. You should bother about if you want to have a blend of the same channel or create two separate channels. And then you can go to the transformation, and it gives you a little preview, but the real preview is here actually, so you can actually run it immediately. I do it now as 50% because I don't want to waste your time now. You see it will be very fast, and it creates the fused volume. And now you see the two glued together according to the representation that you did before. So in this case, I do these, and here I see on the top, that's the part that's missing, which is here. So I can see a little bit how they could fit together. So I go back to Volume Fusion, and I do it now differently, same thing, but different approach. I do the transformation, and now I do the landmark registration, and I can do this also in 3D. I think that's the fastest way for this bone topic. You can also do it in 2D, whatever you prefer. So you can just use some fixed spheres. And now I try to match the spheres. So I start from the right, the left, sorry, then right, 2, 3 is the one with the tooth, and 4 is the opposite side. Okay, and this one I put in here. I mark them all, and then I put them into selected objects. This is just rubbish here. Okay, and I do the same here. I try to match the same corresponding spots, so left, right. This is the top now because that corresponds to the bottom here and the bottom here. And then I mark those and I add them to the second part. Okay, and now I get an automatic match. You can see it here already that fits more or less. So it tries to find the best match. And now I can again run my transformation based on this. I don't bother, it's maybe not perfect, because I can afterwards use the surface transformation. So I now get it roughly correct, and then I can use the surface transformation to correct it completely. Yeah, and here's my other fused volume. Okay, now I didn't use different colors, but you can see this here very nicely, that they are okay. Well, they are not really nicely fused, but somehow. But what I can do is I can use the same parameters that I used here for the landmark registration. I can copy them from landmarks, and then I can use it for the surface representation and move it around as I did before. So I can do it in two steps, or I can do it only manually, or I can do it only with landmarks, or a mixed form of both. I think this will make things much, much easier now to do volume fusion.